Time for rock news on 101.1 WJRR, Orlando's rock station. Let's check in with Lynch and Taco and see which rockers are making the headlines for all the right and wrong reasons. 101.1 WJRR.
All right, and rock news is brought to you by our Tuesday ticket takeover going on the JR Instagram at 101.1 WJRR. Swing by there at some point today. You might win yourself VIP tickets for this weekend's Rocktoberfest, Friday and Saturday, at the Orlando Amphitheater at the Central Florida Fairgrounds.
That's VIP tickets.
The Pantera Experience, Hardwired, which is a Metallica tribute. There's the Poison tribute band. Real German music, real German food, real German beer.
Well, of course, because it's Rocktoberfest.
Yes.
You have to have the real.
So get by JR Instagram for that, at 101.1 WJRR. All right, start off with some sad news from the rock world. Former Iron Maiden singer back in their early days, Paul Di'Anno, has passed away at the age of 66. We've been keeping tabs on him for years at this point as his health struggles continued to
deteriorate.
Yeah, he really just was in bad shape. The label Conquest Music made the announcement yesterday that he had passed at the age of 66. Did not give cause of death other than saying that he died at his home in Salisbury, England, and then of course went through his whole history. He had been performing from a wheelchair right up until his death, actually. And then you go all the way back into the late 70s and early 80s when he was on those Iron Maiden, those two early Iron Maiden albums, the self-titled one, and then the follow-up with Killers, just both great albums.
So rest in peace, man.
Paul Andrews, his real name, really started to get some traction in the metal scene in England in the late 70s after he joined Maiden, became their lead singer. There is going to be an official Paul Di'Anno documentary coming out that's been being produced for a while now. It's near completion. 2025 is when that will be coming out.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, right?
Yes. Good buddy of his has been chronicling all the ups and downs and highs and lows of Di'Anno's career, and that will be all put together and coming out in documentary form next year. Coming out today is Alex Van Halen's long-awaited memoir called Brothers. That also comes with the instrumental track that is the Van Halen brothers' final musical composition. It's called Unfinished. You may have heard snippets of it over the last couple of weeks as Alex has been promoting the release of his memoir today. I have the entire 6-minute instrumental version of this composition on the JR Facebook page or the Lynch and Taco blog at WJR.com if you want to check that out. Kind of cool.
6 minutes, you said.
6 minute. It's called Unfinished. Last work those two did together.
But it's finally finished. So,
yes, it's a misleading name, Taco. Are you okay with the book title, Brothers?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, all right. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony took place Saturday night at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland. In our realm, Ozzy finally goes in as a solo artist. This is the second time Ozzy has been inducted, of course, as a member of Black Sabbath. He's already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There are a lot of people there, happy to see Ozzy take his place again in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was seated in a throne. He was Ozzy's struggling right now. He admits it too, but quite an all-star cast to get him inducted in, and some musical tributes. Jack Black actually did the honors of inducting him. I played some of his induction stuff yesterday while you were gone, but it was cool. It was on Disney Plus, so if you have that, you can still go and check it out. Other honorees this year going in: Peter Frampton, Foreigner, yeah, Jimmy Buffett, Dave Matthews Band, just to name a few. So
Buffett had to,
Oh yeah, I mean, but so that's it for this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now it's on to seeing who gets nominated and ultimately gets to go in next year. Speaking of Ozzy, former Ozzy guitarist Jake E. Lee still recovering from multiple gunshot wounds, which he sustained while walking his dog just after 2 a.m. last week. He and his wife, I guess, were out walking the dog early morning hours near his Las Vegas home when he noticed a couple of interlopers that had taken an interest in a neighbor's motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And he took it upon himself to kind of shoo them away. They didn't take kindly to that and proceeded to empty a clip in his main direction and hit him 3 times. Hit Jake 3 times. He says he is relatively very lucky. The cops found 15 shell casings. He emptied his clip. I could only dodge so many. 1 bullet went through my forearm, one went through my foot, and 1 in the back, which broke a rib and damaged a lung. Jake says the priority now is to keep draining his lung until it's done crying. He said then they can pull the tube out and concentrate on the more minor injuries. So he's going to be okay, but that's close call for him.
And a little reminder that sometimes you just kind of...
Let the dog pee on the floor if it's 2 a.m?
No.
Nice.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to, I was just thinking the motorcycle thieves.
Yeah. Nikki Sixx, again, addressing the band's split with Mick Mars back in 2022. He says the decision was driven by circumstances rather than personal conflicts. He says the band he used the word forced to let Mars go due to his inability to perform live due to his illness. He says they had to choose. You want to break up? Do you want to back out of this big concert deal we have with Live Nation? You want to, hurt our touring mates, Def Leppard? So this interview with Guitar World, he says, do you think we wanted to take the grief we took and end up in a lawsuit? No. But what are we supposed to do? Go home and mow the lawn? He says, it's like your football team. If one of your guys can't play anymore, they bring in another guy.
Yeah.
Which, it's kind of cold, but
that was a little harsh.
But it's true. I mean, it's true. The show's going to go on. It's got to go on in some way, shape, or form.
And I like how they put that with do you think it's fair for the other bands, like Def Leppard and them as well? Because you have to think everybody on the tour.
Yeah. This is really kind of sad here. Actually, it is very sad. Chris Cornell's daughter is very upset with TMZ. Tony Cornell speaking out against TMZ after the publication published photos of One Direction member Liam Payne after his death in Buenos Aires last week. She said, in the wake of Liam Payne's tragic passing, I feel compelled to speak out about the disgusting, distressing photos released by TMZ, including graphic images of his hotel room and body.
Oh.
Having seen those photos, I can't help but reflect on my own experience when graphic images of my father's death were also published by TMZ. Back then, as a 12-year-old, I stumbled upon those pictures, and while scrolling through my iPad, it was indescribably traumatizing and something I still carry with me to this day. TMZ still has not chosen to have the decency 7 years later remove those photos from the internet, and it's something I believe should have been done. And
that's what TMZ does.
All about clicks.
Mm-hmm.
It's and their priorities aren't her priorities, as sad as that may be. But now, she says it's just brought it all back again, seeing what they did with the photos of Liam from One Direction, who fell from that hotel balcony last week. Turns out they got the toxicology reports, pink cocaine in his system, which is new club drug, which is making a mark. We
reported on something where pink cocaine was involved.
Yeah. So, all right, there you go. Some of your rock news for this week.
Follow up.